guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. We do have some huge topics to discuss. Firstly, Joan Laporta is plotting and planning the signing of Erling Haaland next summer in 2025 when he has 1 year left on his deal with Man City, and also his release clause will be active. We'll give you guys the details and the planning from the president's side on the signing of the Norwegian forward. Huge, and I mean huge, contract renewal update on Araujo. His renewal is closer than ever before after Joan Laporta himself stepped into negotiations and convinced the Uruguayan defender to commit his future to Barcelona. Also has some updates on the midfield reinforcement in regards to Aleix Garcia, Joao Kimmich, and finally, big news in regards to Barcelona's young winger position. We have some updates on Estevão Willian, also known as Messinho, his agent Noreign, pleading to Barcelona to sign this huge talent. But Barcelona are producing yet another talent in La Masia, another right winger as well, in Sama Nomoko. We're going to talk about him, give you guys an update on how much of a promising talent this player is, and also quickly, new images, official images of the second kit for next season that have been leaked, and we will reveal it to you in this video. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours, and the big news is about Erling Haaland. Now, I believe at the beginning of this month, his agents were in Barcelona, met with Deco. The video was there, the proof of it was there, all in plain black and white, as simple as that. We heard then that Barcelona are planning to sign Erling Haaland in the future, and now about 2-3 weeks later, we've gotten more details on the operation. Firstly, David Bernabeu of Sport came out saying that Joan Laporta wants Erling Haaland in 2026. The president wants to use a big signing because it's the same year they'll be opening the new Spotify Camp Nou, and also the elections will be taking place. In a meeting between Deco and Haaland's agents, these things were discussed, and the club believes that at that time he will be able to meet the deal financially. So the club believe by that point next summer in 2025 will be fairly healthy enough to compete for the signing of Erling Haaland. Of course, next summer as well, his release clause will be active. I believe it's 175 million euros. Now, following this, Mundo Deportivo were hopping right on the train. Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo came out saying the club dreams of signing Erling Haaland and believes the Norwegian can compete against Mbappe. By that time, Haaland's contract finishes in 2026. The board believes their economic situation will be much better than it is now, and the factors that could help Barcelona land Erling Haaland in 2025 are as follows: investigation into Man City breaking financial fair play rules, Pep Guardiola's contract expiring at Man City as well, Laporta's great personal relationship with Haaland's agent, former Barcelona player Maxwell as well is also on the kind of, committee of Haaland's agents. It's Pimienta, the girl who took over Mino Raiola, and Maxwell as well is kind of part of that little core group. Now, also when Deportivo came out saying that Erling Haaland had already agreed a deal to join Barcelona back in 2022, but the club could not afford the transfer, which I believe was 75 million. I think his release cost was 60 million euros at the time. The player was very excited to join, even when he met with Xavi to discuss the project. But in early 2022, Barcelona could not finalize a deal to sign Erling Haaland due to the club's financial difficulties. And in the summer, they went all out to sign Lewandowski, of course, after activating the economic levers. So that's the reality of the situation. We couldn't do the deal. I think the deal was done with Dortmund in January. By then, we were still dirt broke. No economic levers were activated. Nothing like that of the sort. In the end, we couldn't end up getting him. Now, the reason why Barcelona want Erling Haaland, not only because he's one of the best strikers in the world, but of course, the storyline is there for Clásico. If Haaland is given the option to join either Barcelona or Real Madrid in 2025, he would likely pick Barcelona since he would be the main star at the club, and with Mbappe at Real Madrid, a new rivalry will truly begin, and Barcelona believe that Haaland versus Mbappe will be the next Messi versus Ronaldo, with Haaland joining Barcelona and Mbappe joining Real Madrid. But let's now discuss this whole entire operation as a whole. I think there is a good chance about this. Now, of course, by this time, Lewandowski's contract at Barcelona will be done. He'll have expired, and he'll probably be moving on with his career as well. A lot of people bringing up Victor Roque in this conversation. I think Victor Roque could be the one that takes over the realms after Erling Haaland. And again, when you have two elite strikers, you need the coverage and competition. I mean, right now, Haaland's doing it with Julian Alvarez as his recovery. And, of course, Alvarez started for Argentina and won the World Cup. He's been doing unbelievable for them this season as well when De Bruyne has been out during that first few months of the season. It's a no-brainer. Of course, Laporta in the elections can use this as well, saying that, look, if you vote for me, we're going to sign Erling Haaland. Of course, people are going to say, oh, we voted for you to keep Messi, but that was a different parameter. That was a different situation. That's completely different to where we are right now. That's a whole different ball game. So Laporta can definitely use this. I think right now maybe he's playing the seeds a little bit in the media. Then once the election debates and the campaign fully starts, people are like, we got Erling Haaland set. We have the release clause fully paid, ready to go. Vote for me. Of course, I'm the best president ever, and you'll get Erling Haaland as well. I think this is very, very likely. I think it depends on what Erling Haaland sees as his future. I think he kind of has always been favoring that kind of Zlatan Ibrahimovic route, where he kind of goes to every single league, to the big club, dominates there, and then moves on. So he's kind of been there, done it at City, treble. We'll see what he does this season, and also next season as well with Man City. Then, of course, come to Barcelona. The storyline is there, Mbappe versus Haaland in Clasico. We will be there for it. Now, the real question is, 175 million euros for Erling Haaland, is it worth it? Probably. I think hopefully at that time, the thing that really worries me is that our squad needs to be damn near perfect by that point. We need to have everything sorted out. Proper wingers, a pivot, interiors, fullback, center back, goalkeeper, all needs to be sorted out. Because again, Erling Haaland is the cherry on top of the cake. Right now, we kind of have the cake. We're just now getting the whipping cream and some of the sprinkles on there. And then hopefully in 2025, we can have the cherry on top. Because we cannot go into that summer needing other players and Erling Haaland. That summer, 2025, just has to be Erling Haaland. That's it. And you go for it. That's going to be the reality of the situation. Of course, right now, I think in the squad, we need a pivot. We need a left winger. We get that this summer. The next summer, you can really focus on these icing on the cake signings. These starter players that you come in, drop all your transfer budget on. One big player, one big impact. That's all you really need. So wait and see how things turn out. Again, right now, very, very early stages. But again, Laporta is plotting a move for Erling Haaland next summer when his release clause becomes active, and also when he has 1 year left on his deal with Manchester City. But for now, Barcelona will be focusing negotiations on Manchester City with the signing of Joao Cancelo, with Luis Rojo from Marca reporting that Barcelona wants Cancelo to continue. The club is looking for viable options and at the moment is planning to extend the loan of the Portuguese fullback. So again, Barcelona will not be talking with Man City right now about Erling Haaland. It's going to be all on Joao Cancelo, finding out a formula and an agreement. I don't know what's happening. 1 minute we're hearing, oh, Barcelona going to buy him. We're perfectly happy with buying him. We can have, 20 million euros on him, no problem. Oh, we want to spend that 20 million somewhere else. Let's see if we can try and loan him again. In some sort of capacity, Cancelo is going to stay. He's made it very clear in the media in multiple different interviews that he wants to stay at Barcelona. There have been reports that, Arsenal have entered the race. They can hold that. I mean, unless we don't get him, it's very, very clear. He wants Barcelona. Barcelona want him, and so you just want to get rid of him. All the, pathways are there, just now finding the fine tunes of it, whether it's going to be a loan, permanent move, loan with buy option. I think right now everything's on the table. Again, Jorge Mendes knows the capabilities of Barcelona, and he will bring this now to Man City, to the negotiation tables, and we'll see how things turn out. But again, Barcelona, very happy with Cancelo. They definitely want to keep him 100%. The player wants to stay 100% as well, just now down finding a formula and an agreement with Manchester City. Now, one of the priorities for Barcelona this summer will be, of course, to reinforce the midfield. And in my opinion, one of the main targets should be Aleix Garcia. Again, we need someone to provide that coverage and competition in those front interiors for Pedri and Gavi. Pedri injury prone. Gavi coming back from this big ACL injury. We don't know how he'll come back again. He probably won't come back to the beginning of the season. He'll need some time to get back to match sharpness, match rhythm. I think Aleix Garcia is the perfect option. Now, Sport have come out saying that Barcelona are interested in signing Aleix Garcia, but have made no advancements yet on his signing. But the player has received other offers, but prefers to wait for Barcelona. I think firstly, you get the Joaos done, get them signed, whether it's going to be permanently or whatever the case may be, sort out their futures. After that, get Aleix Garcia over the line. We have so many players that Girona will take: Pablo Torre, Eric Garcia, Oil Romeu. I would give up all those three. Maybe not Pablo Torre, to be honest. He's a good bit of a good talent, but again, our midfield right now is really overstocked, so I don't really know. If you told me that Barcelona will offer all three for Aleix Garcia, I wouldn't be disappointed. I would be a bit with Pablo Torre. But if you told me Oil Romeu, Eric Garcia for Aleix Garcia, absolutely easy money. This deal should be very, very simple for Barcelona to complete. I would say it should not take them no longer than a week, whether you pay his 15 million euro release clause or you offer some players in exchange and you make everyone, happy in the party. So we'll wait and see how things turn out. But again, Barcelona do want to sign Aleix Garcia, have not made any advances for him quite yet, but the player is waiting for Barcelona. Now, a player that has been linked with Barcelona a lot for this summer transfer window, but I think most probably he will be a likely scenario for next summer, and that is, of course, Joao Kimmich, with Sport reporting that Bayern Munich are willing to sell Joao Kimmich for around 60 million euros this summer, but Barcelona have told the player that it would be impossible for the club to afford that. Joao Kimmich already knows that the only way of joining Barcelona would be on a free transfer next year. I think that's pretty much the reality as well. Whether Barcelona can afford 60 million, I don't know. We're in for 60 million in regards to Onana because Everton want him for 60. We can only pay, I think, 40. I think Barcelona not being able to afford it and not being able to want to pay it are two different scenarios. I think we can afford it. We have 60 million to spend on players, but I don't think we want to spend it on a 29-year-old Joao Kimmich who doesn't really fit the profile of what we're looking for in the pivot. But next summer on a free, absolutely, why not? You, of course, bump his wages, probably earn around I would say $250,000 a week. Come to Barcelona, stand in Catalonia 2 or 3 years, perform at a very high level, then call it quits. I don't mind that whatsoever, but paying anywhere even more than 35 million euros for him this summer for me is a big fat no-no, especially with the profile not being as adequate as we want for the pivot. Bayern Munich have done us over a lot recently, especially selling us, 32-year-old Lewandowski for 50 million euros 2 summers ago. I don't think we should be getting done by this either. So we'll wait and see how things turn out with Joao Kimmich. I think definitely if he survives this summer with Bayern Munich and does not renew his contract, free signing next summer, we're going to be all over it, no doubt about it. So keep your eyes on Joao Kimmich definitely for the future, but for this summer, I still put it as very unlikely, especially with Bayern Munich's asking price for him. Now, in terms of forwards, Barcelona, of course, are in the market to reinforce and recuperate their left wing position. Of course, on the right wing, Lamine Yamal, Rafinha have that unlocked. Maybe Rafinha, if he's sold, that can definitely change the dynamics, but for now, it is unlocked. Left-hand side is where the big questions come in. And alongside Joao Kimmich, we have been linked with another Bayern Munich player, and that is Bryan Zaragoza. Of course, he was playing at Granada at the beginning of the season, scored the brace against us in that 2-2 draw, I think in September, October, made the big move to Bayern Munich, hasn't really adapted to the German life as of right now, and Tony Juan Martí is reporting that Bryan Zaragoza has been on Barcelona's radar for months now. It will be necessary to see if the new Bayern Munich coach trusts him. The only way could be a loan, of course. It's very difficult to happen, but not impossible. Currently, the German club tell Bryan that they are counting on him for the future. So pending the situation of Bayern Munich this summer, that could open the door for a possible loan for Bryan Zaragoza. The question is, at that time, will Barcelona still be interested or not? If we need enough winger on a loan, quick deal, let's say for example the Joao Felix operation fails completely, you bring in another loan player like Bryan Zaragoza to replace him. Not looking too bad. I think, again, we should be looking at a better option in my opinion. I think Zaragoza is a good player. I think he has a lot of potential, but again, where that potential is lived up is the main question. I personally would, stay clear of this unless this is a last resort option. I'm thinking, last month in the window, you need a left winger, you have no one else, Zaragoza or nothing. We'll take it, obviously, but I think there's definitely a lot of players that are way better than Zaragoza, way more developed, maybe even younger talents that we can definitely exploit that should be, ahead of him in the pecking order. But keep your eyes on him in the event that the option becomes available, and Barcelona, seem to have no real options on the left wing available. So wait and see how things turn out. But again, Bryan Zaragoza could be an option for a loan deal for Barcelona this summer. Now, the winger that I think is the next best thing, and that Barcelona, in my opinion, should be doing everything they can and doing their best to sign him is, of course, Estevão Willian, also known as Messinho, and his agent is Andre Curry, who's very close to Barcelona. He's helped us a lot of operations in regards to Brazilian talents in the past, like Victor Roque and Neymar. I think he was even involved a bit in the Artur deal as well. He's done an interview with Rock-Un talking about, Victor Roque and stuff, and also about Messinho. So let's get into it. He said on Victor Roque, Victor's very happy to have the opportunity to defend the Barcelona shirt. He's very good physically and mentally. He's waiting for more minutes to prove to himself on the field. Xavi loves him very much and respects him, and he will not go on loan anywhere. Of course, that was already confirmed in the media. The truth is that there was a lot of cues of club ready to pay around 50 million euros for Victor Roque now, but Victor Roque didn't want to go anywhere else, even if he was loaned out. He's determined to succeed at Barcelona. In my opinion, here's where we come to Messinho. In my opinion, Barcelona should consider signing Messinho because he will give a lot of joy to the Barcelona fans alongside Victor Roque. I bet on Messinho a lot because he is the new Neymar. So again, this is his agent. Of course, he's not going to say the player is crap, but again, he's telling Barcelona, look, you should be signing this player. He's absolutely top tier. And again, Barcelona Still waiting to make on their decision. Also talked about Xavi as well, saying that if Barcelona win the Champions League, Xavi will not leave. He knows the club very well. He's a great coach, and the injuries and problems that have made things more difficult for him this season now. That's just his opinion. We'll wait and see on that. But on Messinho, he's told Barcelona to go and sign him. 50 million euro release clause that can be paid in installments, of course. This, for me, is an operation the club should be absolutely all over. You have Lamine Yamal, Messinho, Rafinha, my dream, Ansu Fati. Oh, you are set for life. I mean, you cannot get any better than that. Now, Messinho is a right winger, so you have Lamine Yamal there who's kind of developed. Of course, Lamine Yamal, I think, is better right now. He was free as well. That's where the difficulties come in. I think if we sell Rafinha for 100 million, the first thing I'm doing is flying to Barcelona and screaming in Laporta's ear to spend half that money of the 100 million Rafinha on Messinho. I think with Rafinha and Lamine Yamal, the club might not see it as clearly. That's probably why, but I would still sign him regardless. Maybe move Lamine Yamal or Messinho, play them on the left, see if they can develop there or something. It's just a talent that you cannot lose out on, especially with Real Madrid picking up Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Endrick recently. We've only really gotten Victor Roque from that Brazilian market. So wait and see how things turn out. But again, Barcelona always been interested in Estevão Willian, but still no clear-cut decision on progressing with his signing. But there is yet another stumbling block in the signing of Messinho, because Barcelona produced yet another right winger in the academy of La Masia with the name Sama Nomoko. Mundo Deportivo are reporting that Sama Nomoko is the fastest player in La Masia. He was born in 2008 and he's already scored 10 goals and given 8 assists this season for both the juvenile, I think, B team and the cadet A team, and he plays on the right wing. Listen, lads, I've seen some clips of this guy. Holy shiza. 2 or 3 more years, he'll be knocking on that door for Barca Athletic, and hell, might even be in the first scheme. Sama Nomoko. Do not forget the name. Yet another player being produced. Of course, in the past, in my videos, I talked about Alejandro Balde very early. We talked about Lamine Yamal very early. We talked about Fermin Lopez very early. This is another talent to keep your eyes on his progression and also his development as well. Top player, rated very highly in La Masia. He's gotten a lot of key goals as well. I think he scored 2 goals in the last minute to win the game 2 or 3 days ago with the cadet A team. He's been sensational, and a lot of the top executives at the club in the grassroots, like, Sergio Barjuan, have all been keeping their eyes on this player. He is a top talent, and yet again, La Masia producing another gem. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. But before we get into that, I want to discuss this report from Luis Rojo from Marca, who discusses the difficulties of selling players and retaining their values this summer. That will, of course, play a key role in what we do in terms of transfer market activity. Now, Luis Rojo has come out saying that Barcelona is clear they will not sell any key players like Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Gavi, Balde, Cubarsí, Araujo. The club believes it doesn't make sense in both sporting and economic reasons. In addition to the sporting reasons, Barcelona does not want to sell any key players for economic reasons, also related to fair play. If the club sells any player for a large sum, it will not be able to replace him with another major player signing, meaning that the club will dispose with an important player without compensation and without significant economic benefit either. For example, if the club sells Frankie de Jong for 100 million euros, they will save, of course, 10.8 million in salary space and 26.6 that will be able to use in transfer. The total is 37.4, but not being able to use any euros from it is because it is deducted due to the penalty from Liberal Football Finance, which has not been paid yet, the 40 million euros. Then if we sell Araujo, it will not be able to use the approximate 25 million euros on it, which is not enough to bring in an appropriate player. Now, of course, this is a situation as of right now. If Barcelona can return to the one-run rule during the summer, this of course changes. But as of right now, selling these big players does not even benefit Barcelona whatsoever, both sportingly and economically either. Sportingly, you're going to lose a player, you won't have enough money to replace him with someone who's on the same level or better. And of course, economically as well, yes, you save on their salary, but it's all going to be going towards dividends for the Liberal Football Finance payment, and of course, financial fair play as well. So keep that in mind. Until we return to the 1-1 rule in La Liga, selling players for big sum of money literally makes no sense for Barcelona. Now, one player's future that I would say right now is very far outside of Barcelona than in Barcelona is unfortunately the future of Ansu Fati, who again I have a lot of stocks invested in. David Bernabeu from Sport came out saying that Barcelona have decided to sell Ansu Fati this summer. Of course, we'll have to wait and see if other journalists come and confirm this as well. Of course, the initial reports have been always to loan him again. He's a contract until 2026, so you have this summer, Then next summer, he'll be going into the final year of his deal, so you still have maybe one more season to play around with him, so to speak. We do get a positive report, though, on Ansu Fati, with Relivo reporting that Ansu Fati, instead of returning to Barcelona during the international break, stayed in Brighton to get physically fit. Ansu's very happy with the Zerbi. The coach has been very patient with him, with his adaptation and his injury, because he knows that Ansu needs to regain confidence in his game and his body. Ansu does not hide that his intention is to return to Barcelona, but for now, he is focused on finishing the season in the best way possible. I would keep your eyes on how Ansu Fati does finish the season in the final 2 months with Brighton. I really don't know what's going to happen with him. I think what happened these last 2 months is going to be crucial in Barcelona deciding his future. Will he go to preseason or not? Will the new coach give him a look in? Will Xavi, if he stays, give him a look in as well? I think if there's a new coach or if Xavi stays, that will of course change the parameters a lot. I just really hope he gets at least preseason with Barcelona, but then again, you don't want to have too many forwards. You're going to have Fermin, you're going to have Rafinha, Lamine Yamal. Of course, Joao Felix is a big question mark right now, and then you're going to have Ansu Fati on top of that as well. We do need another left winger, so all these questions are going to be coming out, and I really still have I have a little bit of faith in Ansu Fati still, despite the injuries and the record not being in my favor. I think this season at Brighton, he's done okay in the minutes he's played in the games he's been involved in. But again, that 3-month injury right in the middle of the season did not benefit him. And right now with Matoma being injured, him not being fully fit physically, can really take advantage of that vacancy role in the Brighton team. But hopefully we'll see how he does at the end of the season with Brighton. But again, his future is definitely one to watch this summer. It looks like he's not going to be in the part of the first team. We're looking at probably a loan or a sale at the moment. But of course, anything can happen. Anything can change by then. Now, a player that looks increasingly likely to stay at Barcelona this summer is Robert Lewandowski. Of course, in the last video, I told you guys that a Saudi club, unknown name Saudi club, offered Lewandowski 100 million net salary this summer to join the club. And since then, we've had an answer from Lewandowski. Fernando Porto from Deportivo came out saying that Lewandowski has rejected the Saudi club's offer for him. He wants to stay at Barcelona. The club is also aware of the Polish tremendous leadership qualities and professionalism as well. I think with the plan, since we're going to go for Erling Haaland in 2025, is to keep Lewandowski on for one more season, which, to be honest, as things currently stand, I don't have a problem with it. I do have a problem with the salary. He cannot go into next season on 300,000 euros net salary. Has to take a cut, I think, in my opinion, especially with, us having FFP issues and us wanting to, strengthen the squad as well. If you sit down and talk with Lewandowski, I think he's done justice to earn 200,000 a week, again, marketing and, sponsorship wise, and of course on the pitch the last few months. That's fair enough to me. I think that 100,000 you can put that towards the salaries of Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo on a permanent basis. Of course, just the salaries is what I have an issue with. I think the player, the profile, the striker don't really have any issues. It's just a salary in my opinion. But again, it looks like a move to Lewandowski is increasingly unlikely, whether it's going to be a Saudi or MLS. He's committed to Barcelona, and Barcelona want to keep him as well. Now, apart from the big players at Barcelona, also the youngsters as well are attracting big interest from a lot of top clubs around the world. Firstly up, we do have a report on Fermin Lopez, with Tony Juan Marti coming out saying that Everton and Aston Villa have asked for information on Fermin Lopez for the upcoming summer transfer window. But as of now, Fermin Lopez only thinks of succeeding at Barcelona. I would keep your eyes on Fermin Lopez's situation this summer. Again, with us trying to make some sort of a midfield revamp, stock up the midfield a little bit, we might see a bit of change in there. We could see maybe a loan for Fermin Lopez. I think he's done enough this season to warrant another season. But if you're going to have, Aleix Garcia coming in, Pedri, Gavi, Frankie, Gundogan, Christensen in the pivot, and also a pivot signing on top of that, there's going to be a little to no room for Fermin Lopez. That's going to be where the big question mark comes in. So if Everton or Aston Villa are offering maybe a loan deal, maybe they would buy him, and we have a buyback option or percent of a future sale, something like that. That could be a possibility as well. But I think also depends a lot if Xavi stays as the manager or not. I think Fermin Lopez should be staying, whether he can occupy the advanced positions in the midfield, the interiors as well. He can play on the left. A very, very useful player in my opinion. Again, the passion is also there from the player, which you very rarely see in football unless you come, of course, through the academy. So keep your eyes on Fermin Lopez. Again, clubs are asking about him, and Barcelona still undecided, but of course Fermin Lopez right now wants to stay at Barcelona. But we have received an offer for a youngster, which Barcelona have rejected. It's a big sum as well. It was for Hector. Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Barcelona have rejected an offer worth around 35 million euros for Hector. The club wants to preserve their young talents, and his current contract ends in 2025, but the club is working very hard on getting a new deal done and approved for him soon. who the hell is bidding 35 million euros for Hector Fort? Now I know the fullback market is quite skim right now, but bloody hell, 35 million euros. That's crazy. Of course, I would reject it as well. Hector Fort for me is a top talent. He's making big moves to stay next season in part of the first team. I think Aleix Garcia now is his stock is kind of decreasing a little bit with Hector Fort doing so well in the first team this season. But my God, someone bidding 35 million for me is absolutely crazy. But again, the player's talent is there, so someone's bidding this amount. Really want to know what the club is, to be honest. But the club, of course, the club has not been known in the media. Maybe we'll hear about it in the future, but for now we don't. Crazy, but I think the club have done absolutely correctly and hope he can renew his contract as soon as possible. The club actually released a video of Hector Fort playing for Barcelona when he was 7. He was the captain. He's playing with Marguillo as well. The little kids, they're so so cute. And now look at him now; he's a grown up and he's playing for Barcelona's first team. It's absolutely a great story. So I don't think, from his perspective either, he would want to make that move. But finally, we do have an update on one of the youngsters that have the likeliest chances of leaving Barcelona this summer, and that is Mikayil Faye. With Mundo Deportivo reporting that Mikayil Faye is delighted at Barcelona and wants to succeed at the Spotify Camp Nou. But at the same time, he's an interesting asset for Barcelona given the economic context of the club. So Mikayil Faye wants to stay. He wants to succeed at Barcelona. I think Barcelona like the talent as well, but where he fits is the big question. Again, at center back, you have Cubarsí, Araujo, Koundé, you have Christensen, you have Inigo, you at fullback, you have Cancelo, you have Julian Araujo, you have Hector Fort, you have Alejandro Balde. I mean, where? Unless he wants to do another season at Barca Athletic, I think that's ruled out at this point. This summer is gonna be stays in the first team or gets sold. Maybe you could get a loan for him if you're really desperate, but I don't think he has a chance. I think we're just way too overstocked as it already is. You have, of course, Erling Garcia, Clement Langley, Serginho Dest, all these players coming back from loan as well, so you got to sort out their futures as well. I think we're going to end up selling Mikayil Faye this summer, if I'm being completely honest. I think we'll probably sell him for around 15-20 million euros, retain part of his future, whether it's going to be a sell-on clause or a buyback option, whatever the case may be, maybe even both, to be honest. But I think we're gonna sell Mikayil Faye this summer. I personally wouldn't. I'll try to see if we can keep him by any means necessary. Whether we can, maybe squeeze a loan deal for him, renew his contract, get him on a loan. I don't know, but I think his future is very, very difficult to get into the first team. But we'll wait and see how they turn out with these futures and also the futures of other youngsters as well. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Just one update, it's a massive one on the contract renewal of Ronald Araujo, with Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo reporting that President Joan Laporta has personally contacted Ronald Araujo to let him know that he is non-transferable. Barcelona are increasingly confident that the Uruguayan will extend his contract soon. Barcelona have made it clear to Araujo that they are not looking to make an income from him, despite having suitors like Bayern Munich. The direct communication which was missing is now there, and everything is much better in terms of his continuity for many more years. Deco has already communicated Barcelona's solid intention to Araujo's agents in a meeting on February the 15th as well. So Laporta has finally stepped in, called Araujo saying, look, despite all the interest we've gotten for you, we don't want to sell you, we want to keep you, you're a center back for the future, and we absolutely would love to keep you. Now, following this report, Luis Rojo from Marca came out saying that Bayern Munich is willing to pay 100 million euros for Araujo. However, Barcelona isn't planning on selling the Uruguayan. The club have already sent him a contract renewal offer, but the player's side hasn't responded yet. Now, Luis Rojo has been pretty spot on in terms of renewal news, of course, with Ter Stegen in the summer, with Frankie de Jong in, I think, November, December, when the club sent him the first renewal, and now with Araujo. So apparently Araujo has been offered a contract renewal by Barcelona, but no response from his side. Again, he probably wanted to wait and see how the season progresses, which again, I don't blame him. But the fact that, Barcelona is increasingly confident is, of course, fantastic news. The reason behind the not being so confident was because, again, Thomas Tuchel spoke to Araujo, tried to convince him. The offer was there, huge sum of money, but of course now Tuchel is leaving. Bayern Munich cannot sign Araujo unless they sell the Lit, Upamecano, or Kim Min-jae, one of those three as well. But again, they would happily pay the money, but again, making room for him in the squad, and of course their new manager approving the deal as well, is going to be delaying that operation. Now Barcelona, with that being said, have swooped in and now putting full confidence in the Uruguayan center back, and hopefully in the end he does end up renewing. The club are now increasingly confident. They're very optimistic, but again, nothing is done as of yet. But apart from this fantastic contract renewal update, we also have a fantastic fitness update on Araujo, who did not play a single minute for Uruguay during the international break. Got a solid, beautiful 2 weeks off. Ivan San Antonio of Sport came out saying that the Uruguayan coach Marcelo Bielsa excluded Araujo from the Uruguayan training camp on purpose to support Barcelona, as he's aware the player will be having important matches with the club and does not want to risk him in any friendly games. my freaking brother. Shout out Marcelo Bielsa. F you to De La Fuente of Spain, who's playing that Yamal and Kubarsi left, right, and center. Marcelo Bielsa gets it. That is my dog, my G. So Araujo fully rested during the international break. You absolutely love to see it. And of course, optimism and confidence increasing on his renewal, which again, Barcelona have sent Araujo a renewal, just now waiting for an answer. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is to reveal to you guys official images of the second kit for next season that had been leaked by memorabilia on Twitter, and we have now the official look. The shocking news is that the badge is also going to be in the center for the second kit as well, alongside the first kit, and that's because on that left hand side where the badge should be, we're going to have the 125th anniversary album there, which of course is good news. The kit is also going to have a collar now, which we didn't see initially in the first images. Again, you can see the kind of red strip and blue strips on the side, black color, kind of like a navy kind of look. Again, here's the collar. You're gonna have, of course, 125th anniversary logo on the back of the shirt. The color is kind of maybe like a dark black with kind of, you know, a blaugrana glow to it, which, to be honest, I kind of like. We'll also see this on the same with the Nike logo as well. And here you can see it on the players. This is one here you have on Frankie de Jong, and also one here on Lewandowski. Here's one with the one with Lewandowski is better because you can see the actual anniversary on it, the anniversary badge. Honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I think this is, well, from the initial images, I was really excited about this kit, but now seeing it, not a bit disappointed, but my liking of it has dropped a bit. I probably give this a solid, 7.5, 8 out of 10. I still think it's an absolutely banging kit. I like the dark color with kind of the, blaugrana glow to it, especially with the Spotify logo as well being red, kind of makes that pop out a little bit. Although if it does have the glow around the Spotify logo, that would absolutely be elite, in my opinion. But overall, solid kit. I think next season, we're probably going to have one of the best batches of kits we've seen with Nike. Of course, the 2020-2021 season, the one with Coleman, that was, I think, the best kits that Nike produced. Of course, visually wise, they've produced some other good kits, but we won stuff with it. That's why everyone liked it and it got hyped a lot, sort of thing. But this, for me, definitely a good kit for next season. I really like it. Again, the collar, bit in question, but hopefully it'll be, fairly bendable. We can, flick it up to make yourself look cool and stuff like that. But if it's like kind of like the firm one that doesn't really move, that'll be a bit annoying. But overall, in my opinion, solid. I'll probably give it, like, again, 8 out of 10. Let me know your ratings on the second kit for next season down in the comments below. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing, firstly, of course, is your thoughts on the possible signing of Erling Haaland in 2025. Think it's going to be a reality or not. Secondly, on Araujo's renewal, are you also increasing in confidence with him having that offer on the table, him not accepting it yet? Does that maybe worry you a little bit? Third, your thoughts on that midfield reinforcement. Would you go for Kimmich this summer and Aleix Garcia? One of them, both of them, or neither of them? And finally, your thoughts on Barcelona kind of swimming up these gems in the winger position. Your thoughts on Messinho. Would you sign him for around 50 million euros? Or would you trust in Sama Nomoko for the future, of course, in the next few years? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.